Welcome, this is Birendra Kumar Jha and you are watching Khabar Tatak. Dear religious viewer of Khabar Tatak, under the religion section of Khabar Tatak, the story that I have brought before you today is the story of conversation between Lord Sri Krishna and Arjun. However, as a friend, Arjun and Lord Sri Krishna often converse, but two important conversation between them was such that brought a great change and gave much to the world. One of this conversation was when the famous Mahabharata war was started. Then Arjun was not ready to fight, and in order to make him ready for fighting, Lord Sri Krishna has preached Gita, the knowledge of work and work without any cessation. And the second important conversation was when Arjuna killed Karna and filled with arrogance that he was mightier than Karna. Then Lord Sri Krishna told him that when you killed Karn, he was not fighting with you, rather, he was taking out his chariot from the mud created by the blood caused by death or injury of the soldiers in Mahabharata war. Then Arjuna put another example that he was more mighty than Karna, that when he struck the chariot of Karna with his arrow, his chariot was being flung to a miles behind, but when he strike my chariot with his arrow, my chariot only moves a few gaj behind. Having heard this, Lord Krishna said that your maternal uncle was the charioteer of the chariot of Karn, and he was abusing Karn and wanting to see him defeated, being your maternal uncle. So it happened. But in your chariot, I am sitting with taking the load of entire world on myself, and on your flag, the great brave Hanumanji is sitting on your flag. So your chariot were not moving much behind. Rather, it should not move a little, but this is mighty of Karna that he made your chariot move a few gaj behind. However, this conversation between Lord Sri Krishna and Arjun removed the arrogance of Arjun, yet there appear another question as to what Arjun was not aware of being Hanuman at his flag. Because Lord Krishna was his friend, so he might ignore him. But what about Hanuman, the great Hanuman? It was not known to Arjuna that he gave the example. Yes, indeed, Arjun was not aware of the fact that me, Hanumanji, is staying at the flag and keeping it protected. Because it was not Arjun who had God made this chariot, but someone have donated this chariot to him. Who was that person and why did he give this divine chariot to Arjun, please do stay with the video up by the end. As per Mahabharata, there were a king named Satyaki who was very fond of sacrifice and often remained in performing some sacrifices. This made the hermit taking part in the sacrifice tired and they refused. Then the great king Satyaki pronounced to please Lord Shiva, and when Lord Shiva pleased with him, he demanded him to perform his sacrifices. Thereupon Lord Shiva says that this is the duty of Brahman, and you go to Shag Durvasa and told my message that I have requested him to perform your sacrifices. And thereupon Durvasa became agree to perform the sacrifice at the capital of King Satvik. So this was the sacrifice to remain continued for 12 years, and during this year in the sacrifice, all the offerings given on the sacrificial fire was bringing to heaven from the earth to distribute this among different duty, and this was done by Agnidev. And in this process, the ghee was stocked into his body, accumulated in almost all the part of his body, and when this accumulation reached to Zenith, Lord Agnidev became flameless. And as soon as the sacrifice was over in 12 years, he instantly went to deity Brahma and requested him to remove his this difficulties. Thereupon Lord Brahma said to Lord Agnidev that he will have to burn Khandavprast forest, the hot of what will melt your entire deposited ghee into your body. Hearing this, instantly Lord Agni went to burn forest, but the inhabitant living there, and especially the friend of Takshak Nag residing there, Indra, did not let the fire to burn in this Khandaprast, and this was extinguished by heavy rain. Seeing this, Lord Agni again arrived at Brahmadev. Then Brahmadev said that you didn't listen full to me and went to burn Khandaprast, and this is so you will have to come back here empty hand. Now listen that you alone cannot burn the Khandaprast, but when Nar and Narayan will incarnate in Dwapar as a Arjun and Krishna, then you take help of them, and only then under their protein you can burn this Khandaprast. So Lord Agnidev waited for Dwapar when Nar and Narayan incarnated in the form of Arjun and Lord Krishna. He met them and told the entire story and the words of Lord Brahmadev. Hearing this, Arjun said that he and Lord Sri Krishna will certainly help him, but there is some suspicion that Lord Indra is helping his friend Taksha, and he is much mighty. So, in order to obstacle in his way, we will need a chariot and arrow with bow. Then Lord Agnidev requested Varun Dev to give Arjun the chariot from Som that was wearing a flag on which Hanumanji were staying to protect the flag and the chariot. And this was the same chariot on which Arjun and Lord Sri Krishna was fighting in Mahabharata. And this is why, as Mahavir, Hanumanji was sitting in very subtle form there. So Arjun could not recognize this, and this chariot story is now ended. I think you will have well understand that this was the chariot on the flag of which there were living Mahavir, Hanuman. Thank you for staying with me up to the end of this video.